the truth. You are the truth. You are the word. You are not defiled. You create evil and that chaos and calamity and adversary. And it's just. You pour out a just measure. It's necessary, and so not to partake. So thank you, Father, that for having spiritual discernment so that I can see, evil is abundant. And I was birthed into this evil realm. And it's not some picnic, some rodeo, fairgrounds or something, kiddie rides or gay. It's a serious, and there's more evil than there is good. So very little uh, upright righteousness, and just because you're don't say anything doesn't mean you're not evil. And the only thing it takes for evil to flourish is for good men to stand around and do nothing, right? So that, if you're good, then you're not doing anything, and then you become part of the evil. So that's the world that I live in, and I thank Father for creating that, because it's necessary. If all you ever had was a good day, you wouldn't know what a bad day or a good day was, right? Or if all you ever had was a good day, bad day, it works both ways. So he asked it, it's necessary, and I always give Father thanks, because I know that he's the one who created it. In Isaiah 5:7 tells us that he created the evil and the calamity and the chaos. So he was the one who creates that evil to do the things for. He's the puppet master. He's got the evil on a string doing his bidding for him. So thank you, Father. He's not evil. He created it. So he's pure, without blemish, without darkness, the only thing that exists without dark. So he created all this from the dark. So when you walk this rock, when you get up every day, tell yourself that most people are evil. The word nice means to be stupid. Most people are very nice when it comes to where they're at and why they're in this meat suit. And if there's a mission, I'm a prior Army veteran, and I know when given a mission essential, accomplish the mission without failure. Perfect practice prevents piss poor performance. So failing to prepare is preparing to fail. If you want to see a failure, they're just sitting around and doing nothing, remember? So what a time. This country is at full blown in the Third World War, and so is everybody else, and most people in this nation don't even see it happening. Despite the nose on their face, it's still there, but they never take the time to look down and see it. So they just go along, non-player characters. Most Americans are evil, and most Americans are consumers, and they don't, we're blowing up all these munitions, and we got people starving, on programs and food programs in our own country, and they just blow up, we're protecting another country. We didn't even, what did Iran do to America? So it's past the point of anybody talking about it anymore in this country. I don't really know anybody personally that talks about it. I mean, there are people, but not as a whole. The dismantling of America is taking place from the inside out, starting with the infrastructure, the crumbling infrastructure, and then the not funding, this country for giving all their money away to other countries. So as a United States Army veteran, it's, I'm appalled at what I did to be a part of the beast system that allows, children dying on when people, give, living and lapping up the life of the luxury because our selected officials don't want to do their job. So that's the State of the Union, but it's not a union, it's a corporation, and it's been a corporation since the 1800s. So Act of 1871 turned this former constitutional republic, people say it's a demonocracy or a democracy, but it's a mockery of the prior constitutional right of the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, remember? And the Constitution of the United States, you know, the writers of this wrote this with the God protected rights, but people have been, when I signed up, you know, I was very young, 17, but it was to serve the right of the people, not a flag, not a country, not even the people. It was the right of the people that I'm serving, correct? Not everybody applies the right, so it isn't really for the people, is it? Oh, I serve the people. The people are evil. Most Americans are just absolutely uh, bludgeoned with, you know, propaganda and don't have any understanding because they've never left the walls of their own borders. So uh, they're the bad guy outside the walls of America, but inside they're the good guy. So in America, this is the only place in America is the good guy. Everywhere else, they have been getting bombed by, you know, this war machine. You know, the military. Eisenhower said the military industrial complex. You know I served it. So um, what a different time to be, you know, a witness to these, you know, goings on, that it's just getting worse like the scripture says. So I know this is scriptural, so I'm not trying to change. I already did that, remember? Join the military, try to save the world, give up your flesh for the good of the cause. So that's the way it's done. So what are you here doing? What do you know that most people are evil? Most people are the adversary to the word. The word is Hokadesh, spirit. Father is the word. That's Father is the word. That's what Father is all things, but Father is the word. He spoke. In the beginning was the word, right? So that's Hokadesh. He doesn't exist with flesh. He had to birth a flesh vessel to fulfill the flesh. The laws of the Old Testament, but most people are religion can't hang for 1 second in a conversation. They got TikTok rot, TikTok brain, or whatever, 30-second Instagram, whatever. They can't hold a conversation. They go opaque. You know, you can see right through them. About ghost, you know, there's no such thing as ghost. Not like people say Father is ghost. Father is Hokadesh. That is ghost. So people are very evil, is what they are. And because they don't ever take any time, and the opposite of either with Christ or you're anti-Christ, correct? Which is not a term ever written in scripture. That's not a scriptural or biblical word, not written in the text. You won't find the word Christ. So I don't know why people say all these things they say. You know, he tells us not to even add a period, and now they think they're living on that period, and they must have blown it up with some NASA helium and got it spinning at 1,040 miles an hour. So because that's what it says in the scripture, right? So people are lost when it comes to scripture. They're lost in space. Can you tell me where it says space in scripture? Space, you know, all these things. People think that there's no free will. There's another one. There's no such thing as free will. There's no luck. There's no free will. No accepting Christ, right? We'll use your pagan. That's a pagan term, Christ. Like cross, that's pagan. Nobody hung from crosses. Remember, they hung him, put a crown of thorns on his head, hung him from a tree. You know, hung him, raised him, staked him, nailed him, like your symbols of your Monster Energy drink, your blah blah blah, the stakes that represent the nails that they put in that's hands, and then they stocked them like they nail you to the U.S. stock exchange and sell your labor as a debt slave. Remember, they sold him into slavery. So 30 pieces of silver, that's what's the lifeblood of the military industrial complex, is silver. It always has been. So it is circuitry. So can't have war without silver. So just saying, wars and rumors of wars. Remember, there's always been wars since the beginning. Father had his heavens. Heavens is his pride. Pride is a sin under this testament. War is not. He said, let vengeance be mine under this testament. But people do not understand the word. They don't stay in the word. They tell what the world is telling them. Remember, they're spinning on that period. So I don't relate much with anybody in the world. Most people are Satanists. Most people are evil. Most people are the adversary. Most people don't know the word. Most people know the world. So it's not for me to decide who gets to, you know, be called out in that wedding supper. You know, at the wedding, it's all about a wedding. To me, it's about a wedding and an inheritance. If it's not about a wedding and an inheritance, you don't know the Messiah. You know some fake other, Paul said, other fake Jesus. That's it. The Satan. That's Satan. Jesus is Satan. Satan, the one birthed on December 25th in the middle of the winter. That's Satan. These people are lost. That's how much of a world that I'm lost in. I'm not lost. They're lost. Comfortably numb, mind wander. Their God is three gods and one God. Three gods and one God. That's Baphomet. That's sun worship. Baal. Remember, he divorced his bride for that, called her a whore. So there'd be a wedding. Does that sound like religion to you? So religion gets rebuked with the word in here. So if you're religious, will you get away from me? I don't sup with vipers. Religions are vipers. They got a split tongue like Leviathan in the garden. They say something and they do something else. They get their quick fix. Spun space Jesus or spun on a ball or something like that. I don't know, whatever it is. All their words are foreign. He said, don't add. That's alien. Alien means foreign, not slime creatures or Marvin the Martian. There's no such thing as aliens. This is the society I live in. They think that they can believe, and believe's not a thought in your head. You can't believe anything. That's not what the word believe means. It's actually, I'll take you back to school. It's a verb. So get lost, go back to school, and come back here when you grow up. This is an adult only chat. So thank you, Father, for that. Seriously, I'm not playing. I don't relate to the world. Everybody thinks it's okay to add, and he said, don't do that. That's translate. Don't translate. Transliteration and translation are opposing, like bipolar opposites. Get it? Bipolar, mind wander. Just kidding. But they are. Translation is your own version. That's given it your own definition, and definition is the truth. And your own is called translation. Transliteration means you change not the literal text, yod, any letter, or the definition. Alati, it's the truth. So people are lost. Leave them alone. They're spinning on a ball, right? So what's going on there? Dial up. This thing's like a modem. Hey, at least he's not Wi-Fi. Your food for Wi-Fi. Get it? With your towers, with your G-Wiz towers, radar. Hello, come in, tune in Tokyo. Hey, if you dig far enough down, you go to China, right? So, all right. As is above, so is below. I'll leave you alone. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Hall currents, toroidal fields, magnetics, polarity. Remember, bipolar wander. Make you see why Stevie had to wonder. I thought you said wander. All right, never mind. Just doing what it is that I do here, just looking at this war machine going, the cost of war is lives, and doesn't decide who's right. It decides who's left out, right? Well, no, who's been left after the war. So it's a eugenics program, great for the elitist, well, the pedo class. That's what they're known of outside of this country. We don't have an elite, they're the pedo class. That's what everybody thinks about America. the pedo in charge, all these pedos. So told you America's the bad guy, but nobody will listen to me inside the walls, the borders. We don't need no education. Remember, Mr. Warp Speed defunded the Department of Education. Wow, what an amazing time to be a witness, huh? Isn't it crazy? The man's nuts, grab him, This is nuts, man. Like a chipmunk got the brain the size of a pea, and it doesn't need to be told to put up nuts, does it? People are very ill prepared to, for when they die. Yeah, no, that's what I say. It's everybody knows now. It's already out there. It's kind of funny since this war, the searches on the EpiPen Island, Trumpstein Island, have gone down by 95%. So it worked. The old timing is impeccable. Father creates that evil because evil is wise. Like playing a 5D chess game with the devil, huh? That's your life. And a third of his buddies down here, pawns, all the kings, queens, Yeah. EpiPen Island's Fury, right? Operation Epic Failure. You know, it is good one there. Dial up. That's outstanding. Put that in. Hey, I'll show that. Why is it? There we go. So, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's just beyond fathomable right now. Like I said, this is the time that a public stands up and uses the right of the people to instill a right judgment. When your pedo class is in the government, that's when it's time to put a new government in, don't you think? Not me. I'm not doing it. I already served. They're done. I serve the word now. I'm not trying to play any of this 5D little silly reindeer games these people play. No, thank you. You keep your whatever. Keep your jokers in the deck. I ain't playing cards. I ain't slamming no bones, no dominoes, no Monopoly. I ain't gonna be here all day trying to. You get to be the banker, right? So I'll play you like a game of 5D chess. How about Monopoly, right? That might take a minute. You may play like Rubik's Cube, start spinning around in circles on a block. Remember, they live on a Rubik's Cube. They got them peeling off the stickers. Oh. Well, that's what I'm saying. This is, this is it. Don't make your own system, brothers, sisters. Don't play this game with them. Keep your foot in the system, give unto Caesar, but don't play their game. Grow food, get away from it, get a piece of plot of land away from the city. Now's the time. I don't know why people would even think that even outside of America, you know what I'm saying? Just don't partake in this war. That's how you make it go away. We never have to lob one piece of lead. It's called evolution, not revolution. Revolution is like putting a 6-shooter loading and going in a circle around and around like a wheel, go nowhere fast. You just go around the system and make your own system, and nobody ever needs to fire one single shot. I got solutions. I don't just sit in here and talk about these things without solutions. You know what I'm saying? But it's not for me to decide who goes around the system. They just like to go round and round and round like it's a game, a carnival. Throw the ball in the basket or whatever their, basket of currencies and all this. Well, never mind. My brain is on. It's okay. I don't want anybody to think like I do. You know what I'm saying? But you can address issues, but if you don't have any solutions, then you're just griping. And you have the right to address grievances. Grievances, First Amendment right. Remember, form well-regulated militias. This is a First Amendment right of the people of the, they're slaves to the corporation, but citizens is what they're called. So, citizen. So, sit. Bad dog. Oh. Treat them like they do. It's this country. Freedom, yeah, right. How come everybody's in debt? But we got to have solutions, right? And the solutions is grow food, right? Become your own, take your own power, drill your own well, get your own property, and tell the system to eat a big genetically modified phallic. Get it, Nimrod? Oh. So they're genetically modified. Everybody is. They spray us with all kinds of stuff. But, the more we just intake in their system, just go to the store and eat their goyim slop. You know what I'm saying? Don't even try. Don't put any effort in. How many people put no effort into not eating the goyim slop? It's at the stores. 98%, of it at the stores is just a bunch of slop, like hog slop. They feed it and then they pay for their own deaths. It's crazy how far they're going to write about this in history and go, look at this. They were going to the store. They were giving them real food for $100 bill. And then they were walking out with a bag for $100, a bunch of poison. Paying $100 for a bag of poison just to poison themselves. And then got up, went to work, repeat and rinse and recycle and just did it all over again. Got the mud flaps that matched the truck, that matched the wife's bikini, that matched the flag on the lawn. But it is kind of crazy how people don't even put the effort in it, Dial It. You know what I'm saying? How many people don't know? How many people don't even try? How many people don't care? You know what I mean? They never make an effort. Your body is a temple. You're supposed to be taking care of your health is part of, you have to endure to the end. So you can't just thrash your body. It is human nature to destroy the mind and alter the body. It's human nature to alter the body and destroy the mind. Nathan from Alaska. So I got that. He was a good dude. So, but he was right. That's what people do. They just want to just thrash their, alter it and alter their mind, alter their body, destroy it both. It's just the way we do it. So some people make no effort to correct that. I understand when you're young, young and dumb and full of, energy and all kinds of different, chemicals flowing around and slopping around in there and doing things, and till you start to regulate a little bit. And then, you kind of, but some people never grow up, never even make the effort, Oh, there you go. Look at that. They're selling us Crisco, which is gear oil. Straight gear oil. Hey, there's no trans fats. Well, no doubt. It's gear oil, for Christ's sake. It don't have no fat in it, And the food is it's an abomination. But people never make the effort to even try. You know what I'm saying? It's okay, though. It's totally all right. That's the way Father did it. Remember, he created most people to be very inherently evil. So that's what they do. They go along to get along. The non-player character, they are the silent majority as they goes down as most are the majority. They'll shut up and just do what they're told. Good goyim, That's what they think of them. Useless food eaters is what they call you. You are. You don't, you're just a sand mite. You're just a little speck in this dust floating around in some universe, right? You're not important. Nobody cares about you. That's how they make people feel, Remember sand in the desert, the whole. Nice, good stuff. Thank you. So, but here we go. You know what I mean? We can beat all this. Just go around the system. I'm not going to sit here and gripe about it the whole time. I'll make the statement. I'll pitch my whatever. Yatch. How about that? Too short. And then I'll. Whoops. Apologize. The old playlist spun out there. So I'm thinking of spinning, like a jukebox. Don't rock the jukebox. So, anyways, it's obvious that right now you can beat the system, but most people don't try. Become your own power company. Power on this property, so I can actually preserve food while I have the ability to give it to Caesar. Why not? So I want abundance. I don't want to just be hanging by a thread, surviving and hanging on like a non-player character, just to, by a thread in the game, Ain't gonna hook me up to none of that. I'm gonna become my own supply chain, cut the system off, cut the cord. You're supposed to do that at birth, grow up, right? Your umbilical cord came through the amniotic fluid through your mother's canal. Hello. Yeah, they birthed you through the birth canal. That's why they treat you under this water law. That's why you go by all these things. Well, most of the world does it. Most of the world does all this. It's not just America, but it is the most predominant and the most supposedly free nation that has the most debt. We're the biggest creditor nation in 1973. Now we're the largest debtor nation. $1 trillion they print every 100 days. Imagine that. Ooh, it's like Imagine Dragons. Check it out on the prison bus. Yeah, debt slaves. Whoa. All right, that was a good one. Thank you, Father, for that. So that's why I'm hyper focused on this ministry, brothers, sisters, to try to get as much food put together, as much land, secured, fenced with animals, farm full up and running, the system going. Even if I have to do it myself, nobody joins me. I did it before. I just quit doing as much as I did because, the full livestock, because it's tiring to take care of livestock and then have extras that you can't, get rid of, and you got to overeat and then so I don't like to waste anything. So the freeze dryer I'll be a high-tech redneck. I'm a high-tech redneck. So I'll put my cowboy hat back on, but that's all right. Don't need to do that. It's too distracting. Can't wear it. So I know some of you guys miss the old cowboy hat, but that's all right. But anyways, moving on. The system is not your best friend. Your system is there to suppress you with chemicals and and stick you and put you in a cage and tattoo, put a number on you and like treat you like you're a freaking animal. Like, and if you get out of the cage and you're feral, they'll do the same thing. Bring you back in, cut your, you know what, off. Yep, they'll want to neuter you, fix you, put a label on you, strap a number on you, and throw you back in a cage. Get back to, you know, that's the system. You can't tell me I'm not wrong. I'm putting it on the back burner. I'm not. I'm putting it on the front burner tonight. I ain't playing. Eyes of fire, feet of fire. I'm bringing the fire. I'm tired of this, you know, people just not talking about this right now. This is a time where you can't go down in history. I didn't say be violent. I didn't call for a revolution. I said go around the system. Nobody could ever say this channel promoted violence. As a matter of fact, we promoted many solutions to go around the system that so nobody needed the law of any land. Remember? Evolution, not like growing another thumb or sitting there with a kickstand stuck on dumb. Okay? Dumb, da dum, dum, dum. So, hey, go back to the beast of the field, Joe. Like it says in scripture, beast, not under this citizenship. It is brutish. Most people are brutish. That's what Christ says. Like an ass. Most people act like asses, but that's all right. Beast of the field. Hallelujah. It's in the word, man. It's in the word. I'm like a bird. I want to fly away. Oh, my bad. Bird or word? All right, so what's on your back burner? What are you cooking up here? You know, why are you not speaking it up, bringing it front and center? On your feet. Let's do this. Have the conversation. War doesn't decide who's right. War is a eugenics program put on by these pedo class elites. Rockefellers, Rothschilds, they funded this since the beginning. Gates, Chase, Clintons, right? Trumps, all these, whatever, Thump, Drump. If you want the real Drump, Delta Romeo, Uniform, Mike, Papa, Foxtrot. Drumpf was the family name, the Scottish Reich. So it's a program, and they're doing this again. You know, this is the Third World War. Put a 1 in the chat if you think we have entered the Third World War. Put no in the chat if you don't. If you put no in the chat, get the fuck out of here, okay? Yeah, the Epstein class. They don't even call it, we don't even have an elite anymore. We don't even have a governing class. They call them the Epstein class out of this country, brothers, sisters. That's what they call them. They call them this is our class, our upper, they're the Epstein class. And, you know, since this war, searches on Google have gone down by at least 95%. So nobody's talking about it anymore. Nobody cares that he raped children. Grape ape. Yeah, went silverback on him, didn't he? Pedo in chief, you know? And Queef, what's he doing, man? Full of hot air, man. Just seriously. It's disgusting. It dries my PTSD through the roof, man. You know what I'm saying? So we're here. And so that's why we get ready now. 3WW, not WW3. It's not World War III, you idiots. Everybody's waiting for one world government. It never says it once. One world currency, never says it once. One world religion, never says it once. Waiting for the Third World War waiting for World War III as the Third World War already started. They didn't call, World War I, World War I until the Second War. They called it the Great War. They're just like they're not calling this war. This is the Third World War. We are knee deep in this now. We're not sitting around putting our tippy toes in the water, sitting around our ankles. We're knee deep. Going to be up to our waist, and you better get ready before that, this plunge. They take the plunge because that's what most people do. They end up going 6 feet under. You take one breath in the water, remember? Yeah. You better be drinking of the living water. You better be sharing that living water. He's that living water in the age of air that's poured out on Fomalhaut, the age of Pisces deception. If you've gone in and seen my celestial teachings. So we're here. This is the time. So do not, don't sit there and act like this isn't happening. There are things you can do. I don't gripe about it without solutions. Form small communities. During World War II, 40% of the U.S. populace, they were called victory gardens. They grew their own food. Some kind of tomato plant, something to harbor the windowsill, chickens or something, less than 1% of the U.S. populace grows their own food. America is a weak nation. It's an abomination. It is a disgusting, filthy, consumes 40% of the rock's resources and only 3% of the population. Outstanding. Cool. I got my little box going here. Germinate me some seeds. Got my True Leaf seeds, True Leaf Market seeds. Got some Augustin seeds in there. I'm getting some more. My little other one that I got died. That other one died, guys. My little melon one. I'll grow. I got some more going in there, but I'm so bummed. It got cold in here last night. It got really cold. And I was just a little, I was saying, so it's okay. I'll grow another one. We'll keep going. I'll get more. Don't stop. Keep growing food. You take a seed, and that's how you create abundance. A seed is a perfect example on how you can create abundance until the system, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, these are different. I don't know what these are. What's that? Cart? There's some, I've never seen them ever. It's like, it looked like a football, and I seen all of them, so it wasn't just like one weird shape, like I got the weird oddball out. They're all more like a football. They have the skin of a cantaloupe, but taste more like a honeydew melon. I never seen them ever. I'm in my 50s, so it was off the chain. So maybe it's genetically modified, and that's why that seed wouldn't. But I'm gonna keep doing them. I already am regerminate. That one popped quick, but the other ones are taking a little bit of time. So I'm not gonna. You saw I was all happy about my little seed, right? So that's all right. Get your gardens in, guys. Get these things going. Tomatoes, potatoes are something you can grow. Herbs in your windowsill. These are things you can do. Stop thinking you can't do these things. Most people don't do anything. They sit around like, that's what I'm saying. And you want to failing prepares for failure, failing preparing to fail. Sisters, you know what I'm saying? That's what I think. Honestly, Carter, I think it was just something cross-pollinated. I've never seen it, but it was excellent. So I'm going to keep growing, and I'm not going to stop. So we put an above-ground garden, out here last year. Me, myself, and I. We got that back underground garden geothermal if anybody ever comes out here with me. But food is not something that I'm not a constant, like I'm like a squirrel. Like I'm always trying to get a nut. Get it? Get a nut? No, not that kind of nut. Stop it. But anyways, chipmunk got the brain the size of a pea. Nobody needs to tell it to put up nuts. It's got instincts. Some of us do these things. We have instincts. It's called stores. When it's in the summertime, we're thinking about winter. Okay, I got to get firewood. I got to make sure I got enough firewood. Okay, I got to make sure I got enough oil. Got kerosene. Got, all the things, propane. And in the summer, right, that's what you're thinking. In the winter, you're thinking, what are you thinking? You're thinking, man, I should be going out and buying air conditioners in the winter and sell them for when it gets 100 degrees, things like that. See, your mindset is in the opposite season. This is how we've always worked, brothers, sisters. It's called instincts. That's how we have had the ability, agrarian, hunter-gatherer. We would go in and do, but people have lost that instinct. People got the instinct of a fly, eat crap and puke all day or whatever they're puking, vile is what they are. But anyways, it's not for me to decide. I don't care. I'm not trying to help people out that don't want to help themselves. Father doesn't want you to help people who doesn't want to help themselves. I didn't say you can't give them bread, but you got to teach that, give them fish, but teach them how to fish, right? Help people want to help themselves. Leave people alone who do not want help. You'll know them by their fruit. Do not judge them by their cover. I don't care what they look like. They'll show you, again, that they can produce clean fruit. One bad apple will upset the whole apple cart. Like leaven, a little bit of leaven is the whole lump. That's why he said, don't do it. Don't partake in unfruitful works of darkness. There it is in the scripture, right? So get your stores ready. Get your house ready. Get your house so that you can help others. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want to do. We want to be able to be charitable later and have abundance. Quell violence with food. Man, that guy looks like he's a little hypoglycemic. Somebody throw him a jar of peanut butter and a spoon. He looked like he got to make him probably lift some weights. We might be able to use him to dig some ditches, So we need to start forming these smaller communities. Nobody even hardly knows their neighbor anymore. I remember growing up selling food, for years. I'm kind of old and used to go out in the neighborhoods and everybody owned their home. a majority were larger homes, neighborhoods. I'm saying, in that type, and almost everybody owned their home. That's not a thing. Now BlackRock owns all the homes, right? You know what I'm saying? And nobody gets to even knows their neighbor anymore. The children aren't even out and playing in neighborhoods. I used to go sell food in neighborhoods, and their kids were running around in the neighborhoods on bicycles and making little ramps. And, there was kids. Now everybody's either stuck to a phone, they get their head down, and they're not even, they're dead. The neighborhoods are dead in America. Go outside, go to Mexico. The neighborhoods are thriving. At 7, 8, 9, 10, they don't roll up the shops. You don't tell a Hispanic, well, they're not from Spain, but a Latino, a Mexican, that to turn the music down. They'll turn it up louder. They party till 2 or 3. They party for every reason. Siesta. Okay. But anyways, their culture is different. You can only go straight over the border, and they're live. Those neighborhoods are alive like it was the 80s and the 90s. But you go to an American neighborhood and people don't even know their neighbor because they're renters. There's some homeowners in there, but those neighborhoods aren't even all owners anymore, brothers and sisters. They don't even put a front porch or build a front porch off a home anymore. Used to sit out there at the end of the day with grandma, Mima, Papa, Dad, the kids, and enjoy that labor at the end of the day. Have a glass of tea, whatever you did. Grandpa roll his stogie, whatever he was chooching on over there. It smelled like skunk. But anyways, that was funny. But again, brothers and sisters, we can unite. We can create abundance. We can come back together. That's what they want. They want to divide us and put us into, you're red, you're blue, you're a donkey, you're an elephant. You're this. There is no race. There's one race. We're the human race. Act like a human being. There is no color. Father only put melanin in our skin because how close he put us to the equator. We do not have colors. We have different ethnicity and culture, but we do not have race. Stop it. You're leaving. I don't deal with racists. 3 to 4 children under the age of 4, right? They're playing in a playground, and one is from Russia, one's from Iran, one is from China, and one's from Pakistan or something, and they're sitting there playing. You think they see color? You think they see race? You get out of here. You're a racist. So I don't do racist. I'm a United States Army veteran. I grew up in the melting pot of this world, the concrete jungle, mixing it in that bowl of concrete. So I don't see color. Everybody try to beat me up. I was what you call the minority growing up. Do I look like I'm white? Does this look like any shade of white to you? I have melanin in my skin. Nobody's white. White is not. Nobody's ever been white. Nobody's ever been black. Okay. Nobody was ever black. Nobody was ever called white or black. Those terms are modern terms, and I rebuke those terms. There is no black or white. Seriously, there's my 2 witnesses. I'm telling you, you're going to hang yourself in here. I ain't doing it. We're not white and black. Black people are not black. There are some people who are super heavily melanated, but not black. Close to, but if I was black, mate, black. Look. What color is that? What color does that look to you? That's black, correct? That's a derogatory term. Remember, black, you're guilty already. You haven't even done anything and you're guilty, right? Oh, you're white. You can't sin. Oh, you are just pure. We know you bent her over before you brought her to the altar wearing that white dress. My, you know what? So, all right, let's pull it forward. Told you. Bringing it front center. I'm saying this. Just tired of sitting here and holding this in. Brothers, sisters, we're all one race. We're the human race. They want to chop us up and divide us into colors and animals and donkeys and elephants and asses. And listen, we all got to be on this rock together and figure it out one way or another. So you'll know them by their fruit. That's why the word of the Father says, everybody the same. Agape thy neighbor like thy enemy. And the biggest enemy is you. You are your worst enemy. I am my own. It says a man's enemies be the one of his own household. That's you. Okay? So please hear the word, what it's telling you to do. It will help you to purify yourself. This is what will make you put up that extra oil. Be girded. He said girded, loins. That's a verb. Believe is a verb. Believe is a verb. It's not a noun. Faith is a noun. And you got to put legs on faith. He said, Maranatha, until I return. Have your lamps trimmed. because you don't know the day or the hour, but be burning bright. Let me speak for you. Put that light at the top of your temple, your house. Let it shine. Pride is to rise and shine above others. That is a sin. He doesn't have pride under this testament. Remember, heavens are the ruling class. That's what his pride. Remember, Aaron and Levi. If you were not related to the high priest of Aaron or Levi, remember the laws of Moses, 10 commandments, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. Does this sound like a religion to you? So I'm not religious, just so you know. That's why I stay tight. He said, guard my commandments if you love me. Remember, love thy enemy like thy neighbor, like myself, right? Like thyself. Put yourself through that same purification as you do to others. Don't treat anybody any differently. Then let Father condemn them. You just be the net. The net not knows what it catches. It just does the job of the net. Be fishers of men. That's what it tells us. And women under this covenant, because we're equally yoked. Woman is not below or above a man under this covenant. Man is not above or below. Yes, that is the golden rule. The natural laws of the land. Do unto others as you would have do unto yourself. Love thy neighbor like thy enemy, like thyself. The measure you pour out on others will be returned justly, double on some of us, right? When he returns. It's always been here. These are called the laws, the golden rules, the right of the people, organic color law, Black's Law Dictionary. Read it. I'm an eternal being, so I'm a lot older than this meat suit here. I don't die. I die to flesh daily, spiritual death. So death is a doorway. You don't die. That's stupid. You lose your flesh, but you don't. It's called Hokadesh, spirit, but most people don't have. You can't see it. You can't feel it because they're caught in the flesh. Trapped. That's what predestination. See this darkness? He said, I pull you to my light. No, you're not older than me. I'm older than everybody in this room combined. You're a child. You are. I can start bringing you through this modern day world and tell you that you don't know what you're talking about. Tell me what year it is. Let's see if you know how if you're older than me. Years don't have anything. You're telling me that a hand pointing at a number on a wall is a time, or some digits on a screen? Be quiet. This is an adult-only stream. I'll shut you up real quick. Well, and I'm not better than you. I'm not above you. You ever hit two girls in a cup? Leave your at the okay. Don't interrupt me. Tell what year it is. Come on, Cart. Seriously, you're not older than me. I'm an eternal being. You don't even know what eternity is, do you? Age. Tell me what year it is. Tell me what year it is. We'll see if you're older than me. Because I don't think you even know the time, let alone know. You remember a hand pointed at a number on a wall as you're telling me that's time? Time doesn't never end. Time is illusion. So is death. So you're not older than me. Thank you for your time. So appreciate it. I'm not going to told you, I'm not standing for it, right? Not for you. I overstand. I don't understand. Who knows what year it is? Goodbye. The question. Go back here. Answer my question with a question. Goodbye. Don't answer my question with a question. If I answer you a question, you answer my question or leave. I'm not hanging out with TikTok rot brain, okay? If you got brain rot, you're like one of these zombie. Apocalypse doesn't mean the end of the world. Apocalypse means you're learning something. It's to lift the scales. I am Pastor Apocalypse, okay? Pastor Revelation. They mean the same thing. So define the words that come out of your mouth if you're going to have a conversation with me. And then if you're going to get asked a question, don't give me a question or answer the question I asked you. And then if you have a question for me, I'll answer your question. We can reciprocate each other and have a conversation, but I'm not going to sup or conversate with vipers. So don't be a viper in here. So anybody would know what year it is? Does it even matter? Because I'll tell you what, death is a doorway. That one closes, another one opens. So, time is not what you think. It says in scripture, that doesn't say devil. That's a word never, ever once written in scripture. There is no devil. So get away from me. You're a child. That it says the demonion, the distributor of fortunes, the elitists, these rulers of the darkness of this world, principalities, powers, right, will be able to change times. So you don't even know what time it is. So don't tell me you know what age. Age is an illusion. You're an eternal being. You die to the flesh. You're supposed to be doing that every single day if you read the scriptures, but you don't read the scriptures. So read the word. If you're going to come at me with something, bring it with the word. Otherwise, it's going to bounce off. I use it as my discernment. I have a spiritual calculator. If it doesn't add up, I reject it. That's what the word, he said that. That's why the Old Testament, remember, it is a foreshadow of what is to come. You want to find out the definitions in the new, you go back to the old. If they're not in line, the word is hados, in the same narrow way, throw it out. So I'll toss you out of here. The man's nuts, grab him and get him out of here. These nuts, the ladies are pretty nuts too, so watch out. They do, they got instincts like, remember, women's intuition. They don't need to be told to fly south for the winter like a bird. A lot of them, they have stronger instinct, I think, right now than most men. I'd be going bananas if I was a woman. I'd be going bang, bang, gorilla, like Bruno Mars. Seriously, I would. I couldn't stand. Men are so freaking weak, especially the American man. We got a pedo class elite. Nobody's asserting their rights. There's not one militia formed in this country. Peacefully protest is what it says, the right to address grievances. So, but not a one. Crickets like Disney in America. America, boys. So, can't say anything about that. You know it. If you're one of these weak Americans, you are this nation is being dismantled right before your eyeballs, sockets. So, all number 10 socket, you get lost. So it's not the end of the world, but you need to know that this is the Third World War. So stop acting like it's not. There are things you can do about this. There are things you can do to get yourself ahead of this, like a wave. You ever been in the ocean? You ever catch a wave? You have to push off, bodyboard, boogie board, surf, or anything like that. Do any kind of water sports in the ocean, that type, If it's coming, you need to get ahead of it, right? If there's a tsunami, the water pulls back. Some of these people tell me you're crazy. They get their lawn chair, say, honey, this dude's nuts, and they follow the water out. Like, there we go. Can't help these people, right? So they want me to scream tsunami at them, when the wave's already coming back. Then I can't save them or my own ass. People can't learn. That's an ass. They're stubborn. They don't want to listen. So don't try to help people who don't want to help themselves. There is solutions to these issues, and it's called get out of the system, become your own system, become your own supply chain, cut off their chain, tied, because you're going to be tied to the blockchain, tokenized, tracked and traced, credit scored communism. It's already here in a sense. They're going to turn it on with just one event, like a blind 11 event. 4 + 5 is 9, 4 + 7 is 11. Kind of like the current administration, the selected pretendant of this 47th pretendant, 4 + 7 is 11, is 45th administration, 9, president, 9/11. Are you that lost? See, people don't have any math. They run away. I tell them, we're going to have to use your spiritual calculator. Like, oh my God, I got to do numbers. I'm getting away from this. I don't want to, I wasn't good at math in school. Now you're good on the meth. You're a Mexican American is what you are. Oh, wait, they don't give them out. They give them the Fed, right? China. Trump, Mr. Warp Speed, remember? All these governments. Who do you think deals more drugs than the street dealers? Governments. They always have. Who kills more people than religion? Oh, wait. Who kills more people than governments? Religion. So I don't like governments or religion. I don't. It's okay. I used to be involved in both of them, and now he said, come out of her, my people. So do not partake in unfruitful works of darkness, as all this nation does. What did Iran do to America? What did Israel do to America to get all this money? And why are these people in the streets of America? Doctors are snakes up a pole. They're evil. Pharmakia says they'll be pulled by sorcery. Remember? If you get out your lexicon, you get out your dictionary, you'll see that word is pharmakia, like two snakes up a pole. Alchemy. They like to fill you full. They want to get inside you. Remember, stand on the X, go inside, get a cheat test. 1, 2, like to break your mucous membrane, penetrate, get inside you, because Father's inside you. You don't know that. Most people think God is in the sky. They do. They think that there's gods in the sky. That's exactly why he called his bride a whore in the book of Revelation and divorced her and said there'd be a wedding, because they were going after Baal worship, sun gods, tree gods, Moloch, Esau, owl gods, tree gods, Baal in the Grove, and they're doing it again today. That's what everybody does. 98%, probably 7% of the population is doing this birth, and we're not supposed to celebrate birth. There's only 2 births. Remember 2 witnesses? He said he'd take 2 witnesses, steal your inheritance. I come quickly like a thief in the night, and that one took your crown. Remember what crown? So yeah, you better listen to what he's telling you. Seriously, there's going to be a wedding, and he called his bride a whore because they were going after gods in the sky. And if you ask anybody right now on this rock, where is what you call God? And there's God is a title. There's no such thing as God, but we'll use it for dialectus, for conversation sake. Tongues. It's called tongues. There's no such thing as speaking in tongues. Nobody ever spoke in tongues. That's blasphemy. Pig Latin. That's what most people speak. Swine. They do. They have their etymology has been taken out of, even the learning. This used to be taught as a base learning in school. Now they don't teach anybody. Not in America, etymology. Know what etymology, you know what gematria is. He speaks in numbers too. Remember the final trump? Remember the last shofar, like the ram's horn? They blow the ram's horn. So, so just hang on, because it's going to get better. It's going to get a lot better. He creates the evil. Isaiah 45:7. So these people worship Satanists. Jesus Christ is Satan, like I said, birthed on December 25th. Masse is the eating of human flesh. They ate the flesh of a man. After they would lauder him off after a whole week of marinate him in with beast, man and woman, it was a bestiality ritual. Christmas is bestiality. That's why they want you to come on by and give it a try. So you end up dressing up like the Baphomet. Hoof, horn, and breast, hoof, man, beast, and woman. They're 3-in-1 God. That's their God, remember? Jesus Christ. Mithra at the time of Rome was his name. So there was no J's in Rome, so there was no Jesus. I don't know what the hell these people are talking about. So in the beginning was Word. The Word became flesh. That is, remember, Hokadesh is spirit. He spoke all this into existence, correct? In the beginning was the Word. That is the Torah. Remember, the toroidal field. The Hebrew language is a mathematical. Mithra was the name in Rome that they called the sun god. Baphomet or Bel. Many names. Beelzebub, Nimrod. Remember, they celebrate him in February. Lupercalia, the one with the wolf or the dog. In January, it's Janus, the two-faced, like the serpent in the garden. All these mythical, these are all deities, little g gods. Jesus Christ is Satan, birthed on December 25th. There's no doubting that. You don't have to, they didn't hang him from a cross. That's paganism. The Ankh, the cross is pagan. So, I think I've heard that maybe before, maybe a blog or something. If that name sounds familiar. I'm getting better with names. Used to be bad with words a lot, but I'm getting better at that too. I'm a veteran, so I was kind of a potty mouth, but I've been trying to keep that under wraps. So, continue to wrap something. All right, but again, Father doesn't want us to, again, change anything, brothers and sisters. He's very adamant through the Hamashiach, the Word became flesh. The very last words that he left us was don't add. That's a Hebrew word. Let me give it to you. It's called froward. F-R-O-W-A-R-D. Froward. Froward. The transliteration, froward, to twist, to change, to add, to take away, to warp speed or God speed. Okay, we got to study the Greek. If you want to know the scriptures, it was an old Jewish book written in Greek. I have it right here. I study the scriptures in Greek. I read it in Greek. I study it in Greek. I use my lexicon. I use my e-sword. I study it in the Greek because it was an old Jewish book written in Greek. Remember? They took the Hebrew and translated it from that into the Aramaic, right? The Greek, and then to the Aramaic. The translation from the interlinear, the one that was canonized in the 12th century at the time of Rome, where they literally pulled out, says the Greek came before Hebrew. No, that's not true. Well, there you go. How is that even possible? The Hebrew scripture, the Hebrew, the toroidal field, the Torah, that's the original language in the Testament, right, of the Old. How could it be outdated? How could Greek, which came after Rome, unsubscribe, whoever that person is, they've got dialectus is the word glossa, okay, glossa, that's the term. Language or dialectus is tongues. These are all the same. People don't study this. No, that's fine. All right. Well, that's what I'm saying. People like to turn things completely upside down. You just take the timeline, and that's two different times in history. Remember, the Hebrew was translated into the Aramaic and the Greek. So how is that even possible? Remember, they 40 plus years they wandered in the wilderness or the desert because they did not, they went after gods in the sky. Exactly why he divorced his bride, worshiping the same exact thing that I'm talking about, Christmas, under another name. It was called the Feast of the Yule, or it was called the Saturnalia. They thought the sun was dying at the equinox, right? And they prayed to Saturn. I have this on the board. I do this study all the time. It's part of this ministry. Right here. Thought the sun was dying at the equinox, right? So they thought they could slow the sun on 9/23. They did all their Samhain rituals. This is Christmas. This is your image of Christmas, the Christmas wreath. The seventh king of Revelation, the one that's being revealed as we speak, is the spiritual king. 8th Testament, remember? No, not 8th Testament. 8th Testament, what the heck is that? I don't know. I never said that before. So remember, but they thought the sun was dying, so they'd have a party, an orgy, and they'd marinate a man and for a week with sex and beast and man and woman and meat and wine and cheese and veal and all the finest, right? And after a week, they barbecue them and eat them on December 25th. Mithra, remember? The sun god. Baphomet. Sky Daddy Jesus. The guy that cuts my lawn. He's over there on one of those hydrostatic motors. Jesus, get it? Floating on. Hey, that is what it is, man. These people want to keep adding and think it's okay. He divorced his bride for going after gods in the sky and adding and changing his word. Remember? They were going after gods in the sky, teaching this. Ahab's children were taught this by Jezebel. This was spread throughout the northern tribes, the Sumerian tribes of the north, those 10. Remember, all this Baphomet worship, this Baal tree, Baal in the grove. Tree worship is grove, Baal is sun. Baal in the grove, this is exactly the same thing that they celebrate today. It is, under another name. It was the Feast of the Yule. That's your Christmas wreath. Remember, they thought it was a goddess of heaven spinning that big dipper around the North Star. But they didn't know that. They were silly pagans. Remember, they thought they were gods in the sky, deities, little g gods. They changed all the calendar to align with this lunar calendar, right? Caesar, Augustus Caesar, August, Monday, lunar worship. All these have been perverted. There's not 12 months in a calendar year. It's not 2026. There's no gods in the sky. Stop it. This is all worshiping of the calendar. That's all calendar worship. Speedy Gonzalez, he's really good with the mower. So, right. Well, like scepter, the scepter, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, the seventh, right? The final trump, right? The final trump. So scepter, 7, right? I was born in the 9th, right? Month of November, Nueve, 9. I was born in the 9th month. We're like, no, you're from the 11th month. Oh, 9/11. Now it's 9/11, right? Okay, whatever, man. Decimi, let me see your decimi. Everybody put their hands up. Remember, decagon, decimi, decimal, 10. Everybody get their hands up. So, you're lost. It's not 2026. There's no gods in the sky. Stop it. You can't go to the sky. You're not going to the sky. You sound just like Babylon, building towers to try to reach the sky. Just like Mr. Warp Speed. He's got his 58-story Babylonian tower or Manhattan Tower in Babylon. I mean, he's got his Babylonian tower in Manhattan, 58 stories tall, just like Satan's tower, Mithra, Nimrod, Jesus Christ, Giannis, whatever you want to call it. He has a bunch of different name is irrelevant. Name doesn't mean Jesus. It says Shem, not name. Never said name. Name is blasphemy. You don't know what name. It doesn't say name. It says Shem. Hallowed be thy Shem. In the Lord's Prayer, it never says Lord. Lord's a pagan term. Once again, means master, and you can't serve two. You serve that alien tongue of yours. There's no such thing as aliens. No such thing as big feet. No such thing as, you're going to tell me there's big feet? No, we're not getting a new camera, you dipshit. I'm out off the grid in the middle. I raise my own food. I'm out in the middle of the country. You're on a Wi-Fi router. Get away from me, you stink. You stink like the city. You smell like a 5G whiz tower. Get away from me. You stink like the city, you city. You don't make your own power. You are powerless. You are on a smart meter, and you are, you know what the word nice means? It means to be stupid. Take your stupid person, get out of here. What are you trying to be nice to tell me? You already failed. Remember, he said idolatry and imagery. That's your two biggest enemies, and you already fell for it. Remember, don't worry about you. See, it's HD, not for high definition. It's for high desert, you idiot. Get away from me. Define the word idiot. Fart, smella. Define the word idiot for me. Otherwise, you'll be moderated. I have moderators to moderate swine like you. Low energy. Remember, he cast the unclean truths into the swine, and it wandered off the cliff to its watery judgments. So give everybody the definition of idiot in here, or leave. This is an adult-only chat. You can't be in here as a child. So nope, 18 older and no children in here. So this is an EpiPen Island. We'll check your IP address. Make sure you ain't got any of that on your IP address. This channel is monitored by the government. It is. I've been blogging for 12 years on YouTube. You don't think they know who I am? Yes, they do. My house is SWAT rated. Go look at the SWAT rate on the stream. It's still on the live stream. It's on the playlist if you want to see them SWAT raid my house. So the government knows who I am. So they got your IP address. God's inside of you. What are you worried about the government watching you for? And he's inside you. He doesn't need an eye in the sky. He goes everywhere you go. He knows what the world knows. Oh, he knows what the world doesn't know, huh? And your intentions that you thought you got away with. You ain't get away with nothing. Because I stand up to the government. I always have. I'm a United States Army veteran. I was a police officer, prior law enforcement, or SWAT trained. Certified myself by LAPD. The number one Metro is the number one SWAT team in the nation. Okay, we'll leave it alone. You go back, I don't want to visit it. Ended up costing my son and daughter are probably dead now because of it. They went after and got, it is what it is. Just go back and look at it. It's all there. I'm leaving it behind me. So nope, nobody's going to get away with anything. Father will pour out a just measure when he returns. Remember, it's like algebra. If you take something from here, you're going to have to give it back over here. So Father never makes mistakes. He doesn't make mistakes. He's perfect. He is without blemish. Remember, Paul said we have an inner man, the one that cannot sin. Ruach means holy, pure, without darkness. So it's just that they threw the Messiah in a cage because he stood up to the perversion of the law. And that's all I did. I'm a veteran. You don't tell me as United States Army to take an oath to the right of the people and then see them mess with that right and me not stand up. I didn't bring violence. I wasn't violence. They brought violence against me, brought violence against my daughter, violence against my animal, violence against this ministry, violence against my son. Literally grenaded me in the face. Still to this day, I don't even know how I stand up and walk. And still struggle from this. Still have pain. And I didn't sue anybody because I don't want their dirty money to build this ministry. I build it off the sweat of my brow, just like I always have out here. So that's the way I do things. I work for what I have. Remember, those who don't work don't eat. So I'm standing up for what is correct. And what is correct is if somebody is doing something unrighteous, you do not partake in unfruitful works of darkness. You expose them. You shine the light at any cost. I'm serving. I joined the military at 17 years old because my family told me to stop worrying and fix everybody else's problems because I have my own problems. And the reason why I have so many problems of my own is I'm trying to fix everybody else's problems. So I told them, 15, 16, 17, I said, you know what? You guys are crazy telling me I'm crazy. I'm joining the military. I want to go give my flesh for the good of the cause. You can't tell me I can't serve. Became a law enforcement officer because I thought, wanted to become a reconstruction. Work for traffic crash reconstruction, but I thought I could serve the oath of the people. Became a military police in the Army. That's what went into my law enforcement. And then I point out hypocrisy within law enforcement. There is a ton of it. Sure, there is. They're all crooked, bunch of road raiders. But you know what? I need to keep my mouth shut so I don't get myself in more trouble. You have to endure to the end if you want to be saved. Nobody can call me a bootlicker. You know what I'm saying? They can't. Christ stood up to the law, brothers and sisters. Remember, they perverted. He said, you forwarded my father's agape because they perverted the law. Remember, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy was the law. It's called the Torah, the Jewish law. and they had perverted it. That's why he sent his son. So it's very important, as somebody who serves and took an oath to the right of the people, my constitutional right to serve does not end when my DD 214 says honorable discharge. It is not honorable to serve this B system, but it does not end. My tour of service does not end with the DD 214. I will serve until the day I die, and I rebuke my tour of service. I am a soldier of God. He is my commander. He's the one who steers my ship. Remember, my disciples, take up your cross daily, deny yourself daily, follow after me daily. So it's a march. It's a daily march. And no matter what the cost, and like I said, I haven't even talked to my son and daughter after that SWAT raid. I think they both have been killed. I've tried to report them both dead many times, to the state police, to Josephine County Police Department, to the courts, to everybody, and nobody will look for them, because that's the way Father wants it. Every day is a nightmare that I live, knowing that my son could be struggling somewhere, but I got to put it in God's hands. I have to let Father do it. He's perfect. And if he wanted my son to contact me, he was supposed to be moving here with his wife. Remember, my daughter, they bought, sold all his vehicles and bought a Jeep, putting his thing out of his place that he lived for years. They were putting in their notice. They were, I had him this close in my hands, this close. He was right here. And Father took him from me. So what do? Who am I should be mad at? Oh, I'm mad at myself. I didn't listen to him. I should have taken the gold and silver, and I think that's what got him killed, is the precious metals. I already told you this whole thing, so I have to live with this every day. And then I just have to forget about it and not talk about it. And now in the same system that ate my son and daughter, I've been thrown right back into the den of wolves that ate my son. Oh yeah, I'm in their system. Now I'm on probation for the same people that I think are involved with my son's death. That's what Father does to me. You want to live a challenging life? Come try a day in this skin. You think your life's so hard? And I'm not saying that people don't have a harder life than me, but this is a pretty hard life to know that my son is probably potentially suffering or looking over his shoulder, either hates me or he's dead. And along with my daughter, and there's nothing I can do, because I have tried and tried and tried and tried. Yeah, I put $225,000 in the last 5 years to try to help my son so they'd quit attacking him because of me. I am their enemy. They got a problem with me, so they go after and attack my son, is how it works. It's all documented here. You want to go spend thousands of hours, I bet it's all been documented, but that's okay. Father is exactly the way he wants it to be. So I get up after, not much night sleep, wondering, is my son ever thinking about me? Does he care about me? He said the last thing he said to me was he loved me. Where is he? Nobody cares. Not his mom, not his stepdad, not nieces, uncles, aunts. Nobody gives a crap about him except for me, his dad. I was a single parent for almost 8 years and took care of him the best that I could. Never got any child support. Never got any assistance to be able from nobody. Everybody just put me in more positions with him. Like my family told me, take her to court, take her. No, I don't. I'll deal with this. I'm trying to co-parent, Then I end up doing that and they rug pulled me. They did that so many times, and it's fine. It is what it is. I have to live with it. But I know what I did, and I did the best that I could as a dad. And I didn't know I wasn't perfect, but I didn't have no rule book or no books on how to be a dad. I just did what I remember, how the dad that I had, and try to learn from that, and then give him what my dad gave me, and give him, the teachings, and homeschooled him for many years. So I don't know why he just hate me and never talked to me ever again. It's crazy. It's nuts. That's what makes me think he's not alive. And that is not what I even want to think for even a second, but at least he wouldn't be suffering right now, looking over his shoulder, worrying about something he had already done 2 times that he said that he didn't do. And he did it 2 times, and I can prove it. And even when I went to court, nobody even looked at it even one time. Not even once was it ever brought up. Even right now, when they put me on probation, I bring my son up to my probation officer. He won't even talk to me about it. He will have no conversation whatsoever. And I have tried and tried and tried. I'll go speak to him here this week, and he won't talk to me about it. He tells me to go talk to somebody else about it. This is the guy who's responsible for this happening to my son. And I told him that to his face. But he don't want to talk about it. And I'm in the same den of wolves, the same system that, like I said, did this to my son. And so here I am. So moving on. So I'm moving on with that. Should have taken the 40 pounds of silver and the gold and went on the road, went on the ministry. So, but I didn't listen to him. So that gold and silver is what I think got my son and daughter killed. I think Marshall Radonich is involved with my son's death. That's why I reported his death to Josephine County, where Marshall Radonich was living. But nobody wanted to. They threatened to put me in jail for trying to report my son and daughter dead, or murdered, or kidnapped, or raped, and they didn't even do anything. Huh. They didn't do nothing. They threatened to put me in jail. It's all on the live stream. So, anyways, I've not moved on from my son. I never not think about it. Think about him every day, constantly. It haunts me. It's a nightmare. My life is an absolute nightmare. I made no progress. I just made everything worse by trying to help. It just made everything worse. So I'm trying to pick up the pieces, and I'm trying to move on. And if one day my son is alive, he wants to contact me, he will. If not, I got to just have faith like Daniel and be thrown into this den of lions. And if I'm going to get eaten, I'm going to get eaten. Period. I don't fear death. I already told you that. I'm an eternal being. I don't die. I die to the flesh. I do that already every day. And I wake up, and he resurrects me, and he picks me up, and he lifts me up. That's the word sozo, salvation. Carries me from the beginning point to the ending point daily, and to the end of my life, whatever that will be. It's not my own hands. I will never, ever take my own life. I'm not suicidal. I would have done that 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I would have done that. My dad, I've never had some kind of walk in the park lifestyle. I'm not looking for sympathy or compassion. I'm actually looking for some people to come out here and help me at this ministry. I'll get things taken care of. I'm not going to get in any more trouble. Didn't have a record before any of this happened. I'm just standing up. I only use my words. Not a violent man. I have a past of being a veteran and law enforcement, and you know what I'm saying, but I don't have a criminal record. You know, this is crazy, you know, what Father has put me in, but I'm going to just keep focusing on the ministry now and just take it a day by day. So apologize to go off the rails, but I miss my son a lot, daughter. I hate waking up every day knowing that I don't know if I'm ever going to talk to him, or I just don't know. There's just nothing. I just gained all of this was for nothing. It just put me way worse, you know. And now all I'm actually trying to do is put the funding together to get the ministry so I can retire and just relax a little bit, go fishing or something, stop worrying about all these things, and get a couple people, hands out here to help me with the farm so I'm not putting myself through this. And I have a broken back right now, literally. And I'm sure my hip is broken, but I didn't get that, you know. And I'm literally trying to do the best that I can, working with a broken back the whole time, you know, because Father wouldn't send me one single hand to help me. So I ended up breaking my back. Father did that to me. See how that works? So anyways, thanks for letting me go off on that, because I sure miss my son a lot. So probably not what most people want to hear, but it is what it is. Father doesn't make mistakes. Even when I got thrown in jail, I'm like, oh, Father don't make mistakes. This is what he wants for me. So even though this is crazy and I didn't, you know, hired an attorney, $25,000 for nothing, just wasted all that. I sure could use that $25,000 right now, guys. Really, I am so serious to get this property. That's what I need to get on the grid here. That's about the money I need right now. That is what I need. I don't have it. I just don't, you know. That's where I told you where I'm disappointed with myself, because I should have made this move much sooner. But I always try to spread myself too thin, and you know, I gotta always rob Peter to pay Paul, you know, so to speak. You know, not literally, but you know, I'm saying my life is not. I don't have a stream of income from retirement or military or any work or anything, and no Social Security, and so I got to just stay focused on this ministry. This is what I have in my life. Before I had my son, I could talk to him for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 hours at a time sometimes, till not that long, but you know, 3. And I don't have that now. So that's why I come in here, because I don't have anybody else to talk to. There's not one person I can call on my phone right now that will talk to me. That's how small and simple my life has been made. That's what my son said. My dad, you just made everything about God and the ministry. You don't do anything else. So you're a loner. And that's why you're going to live that way the rest of your life. And I know that you'll just always do. You'll take care of your animals, and you've done it too many years. I've watched you. I've known you your whole life. This is the way you've always been, and you won't change that. So there are some things I don't like about your dad, but at least and they tell me, you know, he was honest with me. I miss having that a lot. He wouldn't tell me what I want to hear. He'd tell me what I needed to hear. Very wise young man. And so I can't even imagine if he's alive what he'd be doing right now. I can't even imagine what he'd be doing. It's disgusting. I can't believe he'd be looking over his shoulder. I don't know. I don't know how we'd even be living. Now my daughter too. And like I said, I think both of them are together. So, or they were at one point, so to speak. Just like I said, I think if they're both alive, they're both alive. And I think if they're both gone, they're both gone. So it's a hard life to live. I can't wait to die. It would be a relief. But I have a long life ahead of me, and I'm sure he's going to keep me here a lot longer than, you know, in my 50s. From what everybody has ever told me that I know, that's actually an eternal being like myself, which only been probably a handful of people have always told me I'll live to be a lot older than 100 years old. So I got a long way to go. So I need to make sure. That's why I started slowing myself down, taking care of my body, not let myself stress out on these things, and knowing that it's all Father's will. He's not making any mistakes here, and there's no reason for me to go seek vengeance on any of these people who did anything to me or anybody in the past. It's not worth it. Um, there's nothing for me to gain. All this will be poured back on these people who did anything to me, my son, my daughter, my animals. He will pour out a just measure when he returns. So the measure you pour out on others will be returned on you. So nobody can say that I was violent. All I was trying to do was help my son. And it has cost me vision, hearing, obviously my chest, I still have issues with the, 5 tear gas canisters. 5, so what a day that was, huh? What a nightmare that turned into years. And here I am almost 2 years later, and I still haven't seen my son or heard from him. Not even anything, nothing, nothing, nothing. Don't have any idea where to look, what to do. At one point I found him, but he's gone now. So um, it'd be nice when this nightmare ends. So I'm trying to keep myself hyper focused on putting the ministry together here and go back to what I've always been doing. And instead of taking the ministry on the road, because I can't go on the road right now, I was trying to go down to Ecuador, which I'm glad I'm not down in Ecuador right now, because there's a lot of things going on down there. May even thought about just starting in Mexico. I'm glad there's a lot of things going on in Mexico. I think I'd be fine. You're not even hearing about Mexico in the news anymore. So, um, but I can't leave right now. I got to stay here uh, in this state and push through this and make it through this, and I will. And in a couple years from now, this ministry will be uh, a full thing. I think again before the end of the. I don't. It's not 2 years from now or whatever. It's. I have 6 months to get this done. Period. So I put myself under the fire by making myself do this. I worked a lot today. Did some more, try to get some more things done today so I can get this taken care of. I really am hoping to get this. I didn't hear over the weekend about that single wide. Kind of disappointing, but it's okay. Um, I think I will. I think I will. I didn't hear from the people on the radar tower. They didn't call back or message me, and that's okay. I was hoping to secure those. That's a good price on that radar tower. Each one of those pieces is like $400 to $500. For the tower. It's a 20-foot tower, and I've got another. All the platform and the guide wires and all the cables. All of it. It's all there. You can put it together, and so they just didn't call me. Maybe the timing was off. So no worries. I'll get it taken care of sooner or later. Like I said, I just know that if I stay hyper focused and I don't think about it too often, I can normally make progress. But I'll never stop thinking about my son. I don't. I constantly think about him. I don't know if he ever thinks about me. That's the one thing sometimes I wonder if he ever even thinks about me. To not contact me at all is kind of a strange thing. So, um, but anyways, I've got to come up with hopefully. I'm not quite sure what to do because I have some money put aside here to purchase this single wide, but I don't have all the funds, so I need to take some of the funds from the funding and purchased a starter for that Ford because I worked on that Ford all day yesterday pretty much, and I got everything going. I got it all working, and all the wiring was replaced, but the starter is what I believe it's out, and the starter's like $150, and I need that $150 for this single wide, but I need to sell the truck to get the remaining money. See what I'm saying? I always got to rob Peter to pay Paul. So it's that life that I have, and sometimes I want to get done with this so I can just relax, and because I am retired, you know what I'm saying, as far as, I have all of this is paid off. I'm just trying to add power out here and septic and water, put it fully on the grid and off, on and off the grid. So a little expensive to do, but nothing that I can't obtain if I just, you know, take it in steps. So hopefully, uh, I didn't hear anything from the people that uh, had that single wide. So I think I'm going to go ahead tomorrow and purchase the starter and try to fix the vehicle. And maybe they'll take it as partial trade. If not, I'll just probably sell it really cheap, like too cheap. I'll just, whatever. It is what it is. I have to do that sometimes in my life. You have to, it's kind of like the barter. Sometimes you take something that's a little bit smaller because you need the space, and somebody gets something bigger, or, it works out. So that's what I think I can do. Like I said, I can probably sell the truck within a few days. It's a 4x4 Ford, 92 XLT F-150 with the Windsor 5.8. It's got a little bump in the front, but it's got a clean title on it, so it's probably worth about $3,500. If I throw it up for $2,000, it's got $1,000 worth of tires on it, brand new tires, brand spanking new tires with the paperwork to boot to go with it. So I'm thinking like I said, I didn't hear because I told the person that I was getting the single wide, trying to buy this to put this out here. That have get a hold of me this weekend. I don't want to delay. You know what I'm saying? I want to try to do this. It's going to be very popular. If the economy turns down, a lot of people are going to be coming out to this little town that I live in, and they did it before. They do it in cycles, and they're harder and harder to get these single wides. And so it's a 78, so it's super old, but I'll fix it. So it's just hard. You know what I'm saying? So we not want to spend the money, because what if as soon as I spend that money, they could call me up and say, hey, we want to do the deal on the single wide. And then I've spent another $150 that you know what I'm saying? It just puts me in a little bit of delay. So I was really hoping those people would have called me and came and got that radio tower, but it's okay. It just didn't work out. So, but see what I'm saying? I don't want to spend the money. I want to hold. I need to hold this money. The only reason I have this money is because I've been super tight with it like that. You know what I'm saying? Just super tight. That seems I'm kind of disappointed because I should have had it all. I really felt like I did when I pulled it all together. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got this. I know I'm real close, because I don't keep a ledger or whatever. And so I'm like, but I just was about 1,000 off. So, but I've been holding it for, months and months and months, and I have expense. I just paid the land payment again. You know what I'm saying? There's another $300, so that'd have been 7. I just started picking off a few of these things. Like I went to that yard sale and bought some, there was another 150 there, for that material. I had to get tires because my trailer, I need to be able to operate with my tires. There's another, 100, and that actually was $270 that I had to pay for the tires and another trailer. But another trailer, I bought that other trailer to build a tiny home off of it. See what I'm saying? For the price that I paid for the trailer, I could not fork the money out. I needed the tires either way. So the tires came with it. You know what I'm saying? Not with that, but I'm saying that's part of that deal. I went and bought material because I thought I was going to build a house. So I bought material. I just spent all that money within like this week on, fencing staples, nails, the material, the tires, and the trailer. There was the money that I had, and I'm like, where did the money go? I just had it. I just had it. When I added up, I figured I'd just be a couple $100 short. You know what I'm saying? And then I went and did my math. I'm like, oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. So I got to be tight with it right now. You know what I'm saying? I need to be real tight with this, because if I spend the 150, it can make me, an additional 1,000 or 2. Obviously, it's probably worth spending, right? If I could sell it within but maybe those people would take that too as partial trade. I don't know. I haven't heard from them. I wish I could just hear from them and know something, because even if I could just give them a deposit for now, say, hey, can we move it in a week or two? And I'm not in a rush to get it over here now. If I can give you a deposit on it, write up the paperwork, and I owe you the remaining, 3 later or something, boy, that would be helpful. But I didn't hear anything this weekend. So I'm kind of in that, what do I do? And then the parts store don't open until Monday. you know, or I could get one on Rock Auto for $100 cheaper, but I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? A week or two. I really need that truck to be running within, you know, it's actually, I got it not running, but I got it to fire over the starter. It'll start. I'm pretty certain it will. I feel confident. So, yeah. And then my phone bill's coming up in a day or two, right? You know what I'm saying? It is. And then my insurance is coming up, you know, which is, so there'll probably be another $150, you know, for the insurance in my phone bill. Bam, you know, so it's just going to keep. Now I'm good until the following month, you know, so I'll figure it out. It's a little stressful. Like I said, not like that, not stressful. I don't care, but I'm not stressing out at all. I don't not care. I was just like, come on, Father, help me sell something. I'm not asking for free. I got things for sale, you know, help me get, you know, so I really wish that people would just get a hold of me, let me know they have it, and just go give them a deposit. Give them like half down right now. So I give you half down now and the other half when you deliver it, right? So write up some paperwork or something like that, you know, so I got paperwork or something, and then that would give me a little, so, but I haven't heard anything. I'm like, call me, you know, message me, you know, so I got to try to hold on to what I got right now. So I think tomorrow I am going to go to the parts store and I'm going to buy it, even though it's a little bit more, because I can sell it. If I wait for Rock Auto to send it, it'll probably be 2 weeks before I get it, a week before I get it. This post office is slow. Sometimes the delay with the way it goes, it's going up to Portland, then it goes down to Klamath or Medford, and then it comes up. It's not, the mail out here is real slow. So I just can't afford to wait any longer. I need that money. So I think I'm going to go ahead and buy the starter tomorrow and try to get it installed and hope no one cares. Buy overnight, you brokey. Yeah, whatever. You sound broke. You don't know what you're talking about. Kick rocks, you child. It's a ministry. You don't even have any idea what you're talking about. So, but then again, brokey, just here, unhide them. Hold on, unhide this person. Let's see if they want to donate. Let's see. We'll see if they got any dirty money. Hey, King, you want to, King Alfred? Are you wealthy or something? You want to chip in here? Since you're so rich, I got a Cash App link and a PayPal link. Mr. Riches, Mr. Moneybags, easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man through the gates of heaven. You want to dump off some of those riches? Go ahead and hit my Cash App, my PayPal. Do you even know what you're talking about? Before you open up your mouth? Or why don't you put your money where your mouth is? We'll take some of your dirty money. I will. I'll figure out how to make it clean. We'll wash it. We'll launder it, right? Come on, King. Which king are you? Huh? Which king are you? Speak up. You ain't got no money? You sound broke. Just spent $25,000 on an attorney. Just spent $225,000 on the same case with my son. So I don't think I'm lacking in the fund area. It's just that it's timing more than anything. So King just broke Dick Bob, I guess, right? Like phallic worship. What kind of slobber knocker you're on there? So, hey, King, are you okay with you one of these Jews? You do that suck the kid thing? Okay with sticking your face down there and doing that? Drinking the blood, you know, the circumcision? Are you one of these fake Jews? I'm waiting, King. I don't hear no Cash App ring. I don't hear nothing. You're so wealthy. Are you BlackRock wealthy? How come you went so quiet? Having everything to say and then just went to sleep on me, I guess, huh? So, what are you doing, buddy? All right, I don't want your dirty money anyways. Get out of here. Come back and don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you when he actually can produce some fruit in here. And learn what a Jew is. You don't even know what a Jew is, so. People are lost. So, stop it. Put your paws down. Put your paws down. Quit trying to give me hugs. My puppy's trying to give me hugs here. My puppy's trying to give the dad hugs. You're trying to give the boy hugs. All right, moving on, guys. So again, this week, okay, all done. Hopefully before the end of the week, I'll hear something from this house to be able to put the deposit down on it and then maybe get it delivered in a week or two or something like that. That would be ideal. But I didn't hear anything. I tried to open the door, so to speak, you know, because I have, you know, a good portion of the funds right now. I just need to get, this rig sold and this pickup truck, and that'll cover that. And then I got to start working on the electric, and I have already purchased the electric box and have conduit and stuff. So I'll make it through these steps. So if you're one of the people that follows the ministry, subscribers, stay with us. We're going to move quick here in these next couple of weeks. Okay. Seriously, the weather's getting better. You know what I'm saying? Economy's moving around. People are starting to move a little bit of money, and I'm probably going to take a big loss on my investments that I have. I've got a couple investments, and I'm just going to take the losses and bite the bullet and say, oh, well, we'll see, what happens. So if I don't have to, I won't, but I think I'm just going to do it anyways. And then if whatever happens, happens. I'm going to put all my faith in Father, and, and just let it roll. It'll make it. I won't have what I need, but I'll have 6 months, you know what I'm saying, to get to that point where I'll probably have about 3/4, I think, of the funding of what I need. Probably between half and 3/4. So heck yeah, I got this thing licked, and then I have 6 months to do what it is that I need to do to get this thing, work with the funds that I have, and then continue to work out here like I do. Like I said, I'm going to build that tiny home out. I went and pulled some more things out, actually, some collectibles and stuff that I put a game system up online, a Sega Game Gear that's got a whole bunch of games. Some of those games, I should probably separate and sell the games independently, because some of those games are worth some money. I didn't know that, but Sonic and some of the other ones. But might be a better way to sell the system is not sell all those. It's got to come with a ton of system in the games and whatever. So, but I'm going to get some more things listed on eBay, some more things on the marketplace. Just start banging it out, a little bit at a time. I've got an old BMX bike that I really don't want to sell, but I think it'll pull, some money. It's worth. It's got all the right parts. It's a nice, super nice bike. I remember I pawned it, and they gave me like $900 when I pawned it. One time I just had to pawn it on a whim. He's like, dude, do not. I hope you don't come back. He was even honest. He's like, I'll give you the money for that. He's like, I'll buy that. If you don't, I'll buy it for the pawn shop. The guy that's working. He's like, I hope you don't come back. He's like, I hope you do, because it's a cool bike. He's like, that'd be cool if you didn't. I was like, I know what you're saying, but it's sad. I need to get the brake fixed on it, and I took the chain. I cannot find that chain for it, but it's a GT aluminum bike. It's an 80s. I think it might be worth bringing it to, to sell the system separately, the games and stuff. See, so if I grind over the next 6 months, you know what I'm saying, do it the way I used to do it, I'd have 200, 300, 400, 500 things listed on the internet at any given time. Like when I lived in the city, just grind, you know what I'm saying? And just sell all the stuff I don't need. I have things that I'd like to keep, but oh well. I pulled out some Monster Jam cases that are signed with some signed trucks. I looked online today, and somebody had this almost similar. Now they had about 4 or 5 more trucks signed than I did, but they wanted $2,500 for the same type case, that I have signed with the Monster Jam by, Gravedigger and all these, monster truck guys. So, but I'm going to make it, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to get that tiny home built. I don't know what it's going to look like right now, but, I'll figure it out. I'm going to get that tiny home built, and, I'll have the money. I'll make it. I just got to get through this first step. You know what I'm saying? I just got to make it. I got to get this building. The building is going to be the one that really kind of helps me level this out. Once that's there, then I can sit there. It doesn't have to go on the pad. You know what I'm saying? Then I know I have the home. Then I'll start working on the electric, and then the septic, and then I got to pay. The permitting comes first. It's the permit next, which is about $2,000 in permitting. I cover the permit on the septic, permit on the electric, permit on the placement of the home, and then to file to get the address, it's about $2,000. Okay. After the house, bam, once that's done, then at any time that I have the money to install the electric, you know what I'm saying? To install the electric, I can get the electric installed. I just make so that's when I have the excavation come in and done on the line. And I need conduit at this point. probably about 10 sticks of conduit, I think. So probably another $300 that I need for the electric with the fittings. And then probably $2,500 and the electric's in. Bam! We got electric in, baby. You know what I'm saying? Won't have it hooked up to the house yet, but the electric will be in. Then I can hook up a freeze dryer almost immediately because I'm going to hook up a temporary box. You know what I'm saying? Like a temporary pole, power pole with a breaker box on it for the time being. You know, that's not unheard of. So just a temporary while you work, you know, put up a breaker box and hook up that, you know, get a freezer out here so I can start, you know, hoarding some food, you know, buy a little bit more volume, buy a bigger bulk. Like I'd like to try to buy a bigger steak, you know, like a chuck roast and cut it up instead of just buying a couple steaks. You know what I'm saying? Because I live out of a cooler. I really don't, I can't buy that much red meat at a time. Um, but now I could, you know what I'm saying? Or I could go get a half a beef or a quarter beef from one of the farmers and have somewhere to, you know, it would step up my red game, my red meat game a lot, you know what I'm saying, which would help me over the summertime too. So I'm looking forward to having that freezer out here. So septic's the big one after that. Then we're looking at about $5,000 for the septic. But I got it this. I got this. I got this. I'll get it. You know what I'm saying? I got some investments. I got some, you know, and even if I cash out early, that's what I'm thinking. Just cash this stuff out. This week I'm gonna just cash out because I feel even like this week it's gonna drop and next week's gonna go up. I'm gonna be like, that was a stupid thing to do. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. You know, oh well, at least I'll start, you know, I have to do that sometimes. I gotta bite the bullet, sell things for half price, whatever, you know, or take a hit so I can keep moving forward. It's just how this works, you know. As long as I'm moving forward, sometimes I can afford to take a hit as long as I just keep moving forward, you know, in some way, shape, or form. That way I don't feel like I'm spinning my wheels and going backwards, you know what I'm saying? Um, or get in this conundrum where I'm doing this rob Peter to pay Paul, rob Peter, you know. So I want to move forward, move forward, move forward. I can move forward daily out here. You know what I'm saying? I could just build and stuff. And I was like, well, I just moved forward today. But this ministry is, this building is what I'm trying to do. This physical address is going to make this, it's going to change my life. It really is. And I wouldn't think something like this would be that big of a deal, but it is for me right now. It is having this comfort and to be able to relax for a little bit and say, okay, well, I might wait a year and build a house in a year or just tinker, take a whole year's worth of time to start milling out all the lumber, collecting lumber, buying more material. You know what I'm saying? Give myself a little bit of a rest. I haven't taken a vacation. That's what my son told me. Dad, you haven't taken a vacation in 7 years. 7 years, Dad. You work every day and you will never take a break. You come over here and you say you're going to stay for a week and you've never stayed more than 2 days. You won't stay a third day. You always, the third day you leave. So you'll never take a vacation, never take a break. All you do is the ministry and all you do is work. You need to take a break. That came from my son. Maybe that's why he's mad at me too, because I'd not taken a break. You know, I didn't take a break. I didn't spend the precious metals that I had and go on the road and take the vacation that I should have. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing this for him too. I'm doing this for Elijah. I'm doing this for my son. I'm hoping that one day, if he is alive, he'll look back at this and go, "Oh, my dad did all right. He got in trouble because of me or whatever, and you know, or whatever, but he tried and he struggled, but he still was able to move forward, and he didn't, you know, and he got the ministry paid off. There's a house. There's a house there now on the property. You know, imagine all this happening and then all this loss, and then like 2 or 3 years later, the house is here, fences are up, power's out here, water, wet. You know, that would be a big move from a horrible, horrible event that happened to me and these horrible days that I lived to still be able to accomplish this. So look back and go, hey, even though I was really struggling, I still moved forward. Like I was saying, I didn't get in a rut and sit there and get depressed and go buy a half rack of beer or pint of alcohol, get all crappy or go do drugs or something and move forward. Just keep, it's difficult, but one day at a time and I'll make it. So it feels accomplishable. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I can accomplish this as you see, you know what I'm saying? I've just got to just take it and do it, break it off in pieces that I can chew on, and don't bite off more than I can chew. And I think I can accomplish this. So a little disappointed I didn't get that tower sold this weekend. So but at least, because like I said, I'm not getting traction on the internet. This is something in the local page. So Father might unleash, the old traction. Sometimes I can put stuff on the internet. I won't get any hits. And then it opens up in waves. So right now I'm not getting any traction, but I'm just going to keep listing stuff, and eventually it'll break. It goes in cycles, and I'll get through this. So maybe before the end of the week, guys, I'll have an answer on this house, and that will be a huge thing for me. You know what I'm saying? Um, be a huge thing just to have that sitting out here, because like I said, I think I can bite off the electric, you know, and then my major thing is the septic. You know what I'm saying? That's like one more big chunk. So I don't know where we're gonna get that from at this point. Like I say, because I know that I have a lot. They could come from the tiny that I build. You know what I'm saying? It could come from that tiny home that I build out here. So I'm gonna keep going, man. I'm gonna keep building out here. I'm gonna keep doing this, and I know that if I keep working, maybe one day my son will contact me or something. He'll watch on the internet or something. I don't know. And if not, then I'll just keep working at the ministry. And I'm excited because the weather is starting to get a little bit better. A little bit better. It's cold. As I said last night, in here, I lost that plant. It was that cold in here. I lost that plant from the cold. I crashed a little bit, crashed out for a little bit and didn't throw another log in the fire. And it got cold in here. So, but anyways, all right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap this up. I've been in here for a couple hours almost. Links in the description if you want to support the ministry. There's links to Cash App, PayPal. You can come out here. That's another great way to support the ministry. Come out here and be a part of it. Come visit. Come enjoy the ministry. All these fruits of my labor, hopefully they're not for nothing. I get to enjoy them. So you come out and enjoy them if you want. Cabins are going to be done before the end of the summer. I'm sure we'll hopefully have at least one cabin that'll be available for anybody that wants to come out here if you want to make a plan. And then tentatively, we talked about maybe having a barbecue in August or something like that, maybe, we thought. So we'll keep talking about that. We'll see if we can pull, even if 2 or 3 people come out here, that'd be fine. We don't need 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 people come out here. Even just a couple or few, that'd be awesome. Love to hang out for a couple of days or whatever. Even, it can be just the day thing too. So we'll keep kicking around ideas. Please let me know if you have any other ideas on the ministry out here and what you guys want to see done out here. Again, I think I'm going to build a hot tub eventually too. I'm not going to get in it, but for the ministry, that'd be fun to have people come out here and sit under the stars in a hot tub and under the dark sky sanctuary. Lots of potential to be had. So thank you for all your time. You can't print time. So well spent. I hope you didn't waste it here. So spend it wisely. Thank you for your conversation again. Thank you for those 14 thumbs up. Those people saying, hey, this guy's got something going here, something I can relate to. So appreciate that. And we picked up a couple new subscribers, but they're dumping more subscribers now than they're allowing. We're starting to get the channel starting to dump again. They're doing it again. So as soon as we gain a little traction, they take it away. So thanks for the couple of few subscribers that came along in the last week or something. I think we got 3 or 4 subscribers. So we were getting stale there for a while, a couple months, no subscribers at all. It is what it is. I don't care what the number is on the channel. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So long as our regulars come back, that's what I want to see, and fellowship with you guys. So I do appreciate that. So again, there's a link to Cash App and PayPal in the description, and then you can support the ministry through hitting the thumbs up button, which doesn't cost you anything to do. Share. That's another great thing. Nobody really ever shares very often. That's probably another good way to get in the algorithm. Share if you want to, and then come back when you got some more time. I don't think the notification thing is working very well. I don't know. I don't know. Nobody mentions it to me, so I'm not getting a lot of communication from our communication died down a little bit here, but we're coming back up. So Monetization's back up, super chat's on, AdSense is turned on. It's all, we're kind of back to normal. So not normal, but if normal is a thing. But okay, anyways, come back when you have more time. That again is more valuable than any money because you can't print it. You just can't. There's no way to just print time. So if you got a way to do that, let me know. I'll figure it out. Maybe I can patch some time in over here. So okay, thank you guys. Love you. Thanks for some people have been leaving comments too. Appreciate Sabrina after on the streams. Appreciate all the love of the ministry. And we'll see you guys again on the next HD Fat. HD for high desert, not high definition. Fat for faith and truth. Okay. So hopefully this is the good part. The fat was the best part of the meat. So hopefully again, you gleaned something from this chat, and I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Pastor Revelation, Pastor Apocalypse. Whoa.